Good morning, students. Myself, Mrs. Karuna Deve, welcomes you in the e-learning program of Berkeley Education Society for the year 2020-21, where we are going to start our second semester. Students, I hope that you have enjoyed your Diwali vacations along with the proper safety, and now you are eagerly waiting for the next videos. So once again, I am here for the 8th standard mathematics of State Board for English medium students. Students, up to now we have finished 9 units from the syllabus of first term. But today we are going ahead to start our second term's first unit, that is unit number 10, division of polynomials. So without wasting our time, let's start it. So students, let's start the first video for the 8th standard mathematics. This is our index. Among that we are having two parts. The first one part, which includes the unit number from 1 to 9, we have already finished in our first semester. Now this is the time to start the part 2 section and unit number 10, that is division of polynomials. This is unit number 10, which is given on page number 61. This unit is based over the operation on algebraic expressions. Students, the basic part of this unit, which is regarding to the addition, subtraction and multiplication on algebraic expression, you have studied in your last year only. Let's recall that very shortly. Students, can you remember that we have already aware with the concept of term, coefficient and variables. Suppose this is the term 11mn. Among this term, then one of the number is given and few of the alphabets are given. So the number is called as a coefficient. It means here 11 is a coefficient and the alphabet in the term, which is called as a variable. So m and n both are the variables and 11 is a coefficient. If we look towards the next number, that is negative 9 x square and y raised to 3. So here this negative 9 is the coefficient and x square and y raised to 3, it means x and y, these two alphabets are called as a variables. Students, you have also aware with the most important concept, that is the types of algebraic expression. Expressions are named after the number of terms they have. Expressions with a one variable. Suppose this is the one of the term which is having only one variable. It means one of the coefficient and along with the variable. So this is called as a monomial. Monomials, it means there is only one term. The second type of the algebraic expression is the binomial. Binomials, it means if there are two terms along with one mathematical operation, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. So this 2x is one of the term and 3y is another term which is joined with the one mathematical operation. So this whole term 2x minus 3y is called as a binomials. Binomials, it means combination of two terms. The next third type of the algebraic expression is the trinomials. Trinomials, it means there are three terms which are joined with the mathematical operations, that is addition, or it might be subtraction or might be multiplication also. So this A is first term, B is the second term and C is the third term. So these are the three terms which is called as a trinomials. But students, so if they have more than 3 terms, then they are called as a polynomials. So let's learn more about these polynomials in our today's video. Let's see here on the page number 61. Let's see the definition of polynomials. If index of each term of an algebraic expression in one variable is a whole number, then the expression is called a polynomial. Let's see one example which help you to understand it clearly. Suppose this is one of the term. As this is the one of the term, which is the three terms are given in combinedly, so we can also call it is a trinomials or even polynomials. But in this case, each term is having the same variable. Here x square is there. Here 2x, it means 2 is coefficient and x is a variable. Here 3 is only given, so 3 is a coefficient, variable is not there. It means that in this full algebraic expression, there is only one common variable, and even the index of each term of an algebraic expression is the whole number. Suppose in the first section x square is given, it means index number is 2, which is a whole number. Here 2x, index is not given, it means it will be 1, so this is also the whole number. Here 3 is also not having the index, it means it also be 1, so 1 is also the whole number. So in this situation, this type of the expression is called as a polynomials. Let's see the second example. 3y raised to 3 plus 2y square plus y plus 5. Yes, 4 terms are given here. So naturally it is a polynomial. In another case, if you will look it carefully, these first 3 terms are having one common variable. Yes, 3y, 2y, only single y. It means the variable is the same one in each term. And the index number 3 is also whole number, 2 is also whole number. Here the index is not there, it means it is a 1, so which is also the whole number, and 5 is also having the 1 as an index number. So the each section is having the whole number on their index place. So that's why it is called as a polynomials. Got it, students? You have to write this definition along with 2 examples, or you can make more examples by your own choice. That all you have to write in your classwork notebook. Students, in your last standard, you have already studied that to do the addition, subtraction and multiplication of these polynomials, all the algebraic expression. Let's 2 examples are given. If you'll observe it very clearly, this is one of the binomial and this is also the another binomial. You have to do the multiplication among them. The first, this 3x square, which we have to multiply to this whole term like this way, and after that you have to pick up this negative 2x and then you have to multiply them with this second term. The 3x square into 4x raised to 3. 3 4s are 12. X square into 4x raised to 3. X will be as it is, 2 plus 3, it will be 5. So the answer will be 12x raised to 5. Then this negative symbol will be here. Then 3 into 3. 3 3s are 9 will be here. X raised to 2 and x raised to 2. So 2 plus 2 will be 4. So x raised to 4. Then in this case, this negative symbol will become as it is. This 2 is going to multiply to the 4. 2 4s are 8. X and x raised to 3. So 3x plus 1x, x raised to 4. Then this negative symbol and this negative symbol, negative will become positive. So here we have to write plus. Then 2 multiply with the 3. 2 3s are 6. 6 will be here. X is going to multiply to the x square. X square and then x raised to 3. It will be 6x raised to 3. Then after that, we have to observe this third stage, where whatever the like terms are there, that we have to combine. It means here we can able to solve these 2 terms. And the rest of the terms we have to write as it is. 12x raised to 5 will be as it is. Now this x raised to 4 we have to write it at first, and look at the only coefficient, negative for 9 and negative 8. Negative will become addition and the negative symbol will be as it is. So 9 plus 8, 17 will be there. It means we have to do the addition and the negative symbol. So the answer will be negative 17 x raised to 4. Then plus 6x raised to 3 will be as it is. Got it, students? Right, that way you have to solve this example in your classwork notebook. Similarly, here is also one of the example of subtraction is given here, that also you have to solve in your notebook. Now students, let's see the another most important concept, that is degree of a polynomial. Suppose this is one of the example of polynomial, because in both the term that variable is the same one, that is x. So in this term, if in this expression, if you will observe very carefully, the index number of this first variable, that is 2, and here the index number is not given, it means it will be 1. So among these two index number, which is the greater number? Yes, 2 is the greater number. So this 2 is nothing but the degree of the polynomial. Let's take one more example. Now students, let's observe the second example, which is 7x raised to 3 plus 5x plus 4x raised to 5 plus 2x square. Here in the first term, 3 is the index. In the same way, this 5x is not having any index number. So number is not given, it means it will be 1. In the next stage, 4x raised to 5. So this 5 is the index of this variable, and here this x is having 2 as an index number. So among this 3, 1, 5, 2. This, which index number is the greatest one? So yes, this 5 is the greatest index number. So this 5 is nothing but the degree of polynomial. Got it, students? Let's see the definition of the concept. The greatest index of the variable in the given polynomial is the degree of the polynomial. You have to write this definition along with these two examples in your classwork notebook. Now students, let's learn the most important and the first concept, which is related to the problem set number 10.1. Here we have to divide a monomial by a monomial only. It means the single term with the single term only. The first example is given, that is 15p raised to 3, which will be divided by the 3p only. Let's see the sum. Now students, let's focus here only. This 3p we are going to write it here, and 15p raised to 3, which we are going to write here. Now students, first of all we will going to look towards the coefficient, it means number only. So if we have to divide this 15 by 3, then 3 5s will be 15. So first of all we have to write 3 5. 5 will be here and 15 will be here. 3 5s are 15. Now the coefficient problem will be over. Let's look at towards the variable. Now this single p is here and p raised to 3. If we will multiply this p, single p with one more p, then answer will be p square, right? P raised to 1, p raised to 1, 1 plus 1, p raised to 2. But students, here we want the answer p raised to 3. That means what we have to do? We have to multiply this p with the p raised to 2. So the answer will be 2 plus 1, p raised to 3, which we want here. So this one time p is going to multiply with p raised to 2. So the answer will be p raised to 3, which we are going to write it here. So 15p raised to 3 minus 15p raised to 3, the remainder will be 0. And here we got the answer, that is 5p square. Now students, let's see more examples. Now here the simple 3 examples are given, which is on the basis of division only, where we have to write the correct terms in the proper boxes. So due to the short of time, here I am directly giving you the answers that all you have to write in your classwork notebook. Now students, let's move towards the practice set number 10.1. The question is given, that is divide and write the quotient and the remainder from this sum. Now students, as I have told earlier in our first semester, that few of the portion is reduced from the syllabus due to the COVID-19 by the government only. So on the basis of that, in this practice set, question number 7, 8, 9, 10, these last 4 sums are cancelled for this year from the syllabus. So you have to solve from 1st to 6th only. Let's start it. The first example is 21m square divided with the 7m, that we have to arrange like this way. Now just look at towards the coefficient, it means numbers only. 21 divide with the 7, 7 3s are 21, am I right? Now this m square which we have to divide with the m, if we will multiply this m with the m only, it means single m into m square will be there. One time 1 m and second time m, 1 plus 1 2m, it means m raised to 2. Now we have to minus it. Now this 21 is having plus symbol, right? So 21m square minus 21m square, the remainder will be 0 and our answer will be 3m square. After that we have to write the quotient and remainder. So this answer is nothing but the quotient, that is 3m, and remainder is 0, which we have to write like this way. If you want, you can take out the screenshot. Now let's see the second example, which is very easy one. So you can definitely able to solve that. Let's see the third one. Negative 48p raised to 4 divided with the negative 9p square, which we have to arrange like this way. Now students, if you observe very carefully, then you can find that the 48 will never come in the table of 9. It means that we have to do it in a different way. So students, now students, if you will observe it, that we have to multiply this 9 with the one of the particular number which help us to get the answer 48, because the 48 is not coming in the table of 9. So in this situation we have to take any fractional number which help us to get the answer 48. The simplest fractional number will have the 2 at the denominator places, and suppose the numerator will be 3. Then this 2 is not going to completely divide to the 9. So it means 2 ones are 2, 2 fours are 8 only. But here 9 is given. So we have to change the fraction number. Now if we will take here 3, if the another fractional number will have 3 at the denominator place, then we can easily going to divide this 9 with the 3. How? 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. Now students, we have to identify that the number which will be here, which is going to be thrice towards the 48. It means that if the here we will take the number 5, 5 threes are 15, we will not get the answer 48. So if we will take the number 10, 3 tens are 30 only, we want the more number. If you will take the number 15 will be here, 15 threes are 45, but here we want the 48. So if you will take the number 16, 16 threes are 48, right students? So our fraction number will be 16/3. Got it? How we can able to find out this fractional number, which we are going to use it here. Look at here now, this 16/3. Now the answer will be 48. But students, among these two numbers, 9 is having negative symbol. So here naturally the 48 will have the negative symbol. Now let's look at towards the variables. Here p square is already given. It means 2 times p will be there. And we have to make it p raised to 4. We have to convert this p square into p raised to 4. It means that in this 2p we have to add 2 more p's. It means p square. So p square multiply with the p square, the answer will become p raised to 4. Now we have to subtract it. This minus symbol will change the symbol. this minus will become plus. So negative 48 p raised to 4 plus 48 p raised to 4. The remainder will be 0. Let's write the answer. This 16 upon 3 p square, this answer is called as a quotient, and the figure which comes at a down, that is called as a remainder. So the remainder will be 0. Don't forget to write these two terms because it is given in the question only. If you want, you can take out the screenshot. Let's take one more example which is similar to the third one. That is 40 m raised to 5 divided with the 30 m raised to 3, which we have to arrange like this way. Now look at towards the coefficient. We have to divide this 40 with the number 30. Now it will be not directly come into the table, so we will make it aside for the calculations. This 30 number will be multiplied with the one of the particular number, which should be a fractional number, to get the answer 40. Right, students? Here our fractional number must have the denominator which should directly divide to the 30. So the basic number for the dividing 30 is the 3 only. If we will divide the 30 with the 3, then 3 ones are 3, 3 tens are 30. Now here we get the third number 10. So we have to multiply this 10 with the one of the numbers, so we will get the answer 40. Yes? If we will write here 4, then 10 fours are 40. It means our fractional number should be 4 upon 3, which we are going to use here. Let's see. 4 upon 3. 30 into 4 upon 3, the answer will be 40. Now here we are having m raised to 3, which we have to be make m raised to 5. It means index number is 3, which we have to make 5. So 3 plus 2, then answer will be 5. It means we have to write m raised to 2. M raised to 3 plus 3 plus 2, the answer will be m raised to 5. Now this 40 is having plus symbol. We have to do the subtraction. Then this plus will become minus. It will be cancelled. So the remainder will be 0. After that we have to write it. This answer, which is called as a quotient. So the quotient is equal to 4 upon 3 m raised to 2. And the figure which is at a base is called as a remainder, so that we are going to write here. If you want, you can take out the screenshot. Now let's take one more example. The question number 6. 8p raised to 3 minus 4p square divided with the 2p square, which we have to arrange like this way. Now students, just look at towards the coefficient. It means numbers 2 and 8. 8 is going to divide with the 2. 2 fours are 8. So we will write the 4 at the place of quotient. 2 fours are 8. Now look at towards the variables. P square is here and here will be p raised to 3. It means p square we have to make p raised to 3. So we have to add one more p. So we will going to write only single p. The index number is not given. It means 1 will be there. So p square multiply with the p. The answer will be p raised to 3. It is having the plus symbol. We have to minus them. Then 8p raised to 3 minus 8p raised to 3. The answer will be 0. Just take the next step that we have to carry along with the symbol negative 4p square. Now this negative 4 is going to divide with the 2. So 2 2s are 4. So here we are going to write the number 2. But students, which symbol we have to keep in between these two terms? That is given here. This we want the answer negative 4. If we want the answer negative 4, then among these two numbers, one of the number will be negative. So this 2, we cannot change the symbol of this plus 2. But here we can change the symbol of this 2. So if we will, instead of giving the plus, if we will put the negative symbol to this 2, then 2 2s are, answer will be 4. Among these 2 2s, one of the 2 is having negative symbol, the answer will be negative 4. It means that plus 2 multiply with the negative 2, answer will be negative 4. Now this p square, we have to make the p square. It means if you will do some change, or if you are going to multiply this p with the another p, then the answer will become p raised to 3. So in this situation, if we have to keep this p square as it is in the answer stage, then there is no need to write any type of the variable here. So this 2p square multiply with the 2, we get the answer 4p square. Got it, students? Minus, this minus will become plus now. Negative 4p square, positive 4p square, answer will be 0. At last you have to write the quotient and remainder. Whatever answer is coming at upper position, that is the nothing but the quotient, which we have to write 4p minus 2. And whatever is coming at down, that is called as a remainder, that will be 0. Like that way you have to write the answer. If you want, you can take out the screenshot. Now students, like this way your practice set number 10.1 is over. But if you want, you can solve the question number 7, 8, 9 in your rough notebook for the practice. But it is not included for this year's syllabus. So you have to complete the practice set number 10.1 in your classwork notebook. Now students, listen carefully. You have to make separate 200 pages notebook for the syllabus of second semester. So here is time to note down your today's work, that is to complete the practice set number 10.1 in your notebook. Last but not least, take care of yourself. Stay at home only.